I'm just really grateful that I've gotten to live this life and gotten to spend time with the people that I love. Sometimes I sit alone and think about everything I've experienced in life, and no matter how hard certain moments were, I still feel incredibly grateful that I got the chance to live this life surrounded by people who truly loved me. I think one of the greatest blessings a person can ever have is a family. A family makes life more meaningful. And when I look back on my journey, I realize my family gave me reasons to keep going during my darkest moments. There were so many moments that I went through where, I didn't think I'd make it through, but, being next to family and being with the people I loved really made that a better experience. And my mom has always been one of the strongest and most important people in my life because she gave so much of herself just to make sure the people she loved were okay. And I'll never forget the comfort of hearing my mom in the kitchen, hearing laughter in the house, or simply knowing she was there. Because those little moments became the foundation of what home meant to me. Some people go their whole lives without feeling deeply loved, and that's why I'll never take for granted the love my family gave me throughout my life. And my brother was more than just my brother growing up. He did so much for me. I mean, there are so many times where I'm like, "Can I get a drink, bro?" or "Can I get some chocolate milk?" And he would literally buy it for me, and he would always teach me how to play games, and just generally was a really awesome person. And we got to share so many good memories. I made some videos about playing games with him, and Destiny 2, Borderlands, all that stuff, and we shared those memories of gaming together. And I never take those for granted. I'm so grateful that I've gotten to share my life with him. Even though we argued sometimes, there was always love underneath it all. And as we got older, that bond only became stronger. And my sister brought her own kind of warmth into my life, and I'll always be thankful for the moments we shared growing up together as a family. And, my sister actually just cut my hair yesterday, and, she did an excellent job, and I'm really proud of the work that she did. I got to spend some time with my kid, my partner. I got my hair cut, my kid got their hair cut, all free of charge just because my sister's that awesome. And we had a really good time. I got to, share some music with them as well, from my channel, this channel. And they were really happy, and my artist name is Patty Melt. But there's something beautiful about growing up alongside siblings because they witness different versions of you throughout every stage of life. And you get to witness each other grow and become better people and learn lessons and stuff like that. And it's just really a good experience. And, my family saw me during my best moments and my hardest moments, and they never stopped caring about me through any of it. I think people underestimate how much love from family can shape the way someone survives difficult chapters of life. There were times where I felt lost mentally and emotionally, but, my family reminded me that there was still something worth holding on to. And my partner became one of the greatest blessings in my life because having someone truly stand beside you through life changes everything. And real love is not about perfection, it's about having someone who continues choosing you even during the difficult moments when life becomes overwhelming. And, I'm thankful for every conversation, every laugh, every late night, and every quiet moment I got to share with the person I love. My partner's been there for me through thick and thin. And, I know me going through stuff with mental illness and stuff really put her through a lot. I'm so glad that they stuck by my side. And life becomes so much more meaningful when you have someone who makes you feel accepted and they make you feel understood, and they love you for who you really are. One of the greatest gifts life ever gave me was becoming a parent because my kid changed the way I see the world forever. The moment I become a parent, the moment I became a parent, life stopped being only about me because suddenly there was this little human who became part of my heart forever, and watching my kid grow over the years has honestly been one of the most emotionally rewarding experiences of my entire life. And I still remember little moments that probably seemed small at the time, but became priceless memories later on. And, some of the happiest moments of my life came from simple things like hearing my kid laugh and spending time together or just being present during ordinary days. And, being loved by your child is one of the purest feelings a human being can ever experience. And, when they were younger, I was pretty much their hero, and they would look up to me, and it made me so happy just having them in my life and being able to, like, teach them how to swim and, teach them how to scooter and try to teach them how to skateboard. It was really good experiences. And my family made life feel valuable in ways money or success never could, because love creates a kind of richness that can't be bought. And when I think about my life, I don't immediately think about achievements or material things. I think about the moments shared with the people I love. I think true wealth is having people around you who make you feel less alone in this world. And some of my greatest memories were never expensive or glamorous. They were just real moments spent with people who mattered to me. Moments with my brother, moments with my mom, moments with my sister, moments with my kid, moments with my partner, moments with my cousins. Those were all so important, and they made for a really good life. I made a bunch of videos kind of talking about, like, the life stories of, those days, and, riding the four-wheeler, riding the dirt bikes, the go-kart, the times we used to play pretend. And, I'm thankful for every holiday that we got to spend together, every random conversation, every meal together, and every memory that slowly became part of my story. The holidays are such a good tradition, and being able to see everyone and just being able to live another day with them in my life is just truly a blessing. And, life moves so fast that sometimes we don't realize we're living moments we'll someday deeply miss. And looking back now, I realize that the little moments were actually the big moments all along. And I'm grateful for every time my family made me laugh during periods where life felt heavy. My brother would always say something funny. I remember when, like, I was going through it mentally, and my brother's like said something like, "My potions are too powerful for you," or something of that nature. And it was a really funny thing. Like, he would always have something funny to say, and I'm grateful for that, because he really pulled me through some difficult times in my life. And my family, they gave me emotional strength during times where I honestly felt weak inside. And I think one of the saddest things in life is when people realize too late how valuable love really is. A lot of people go their whole life without truly appreciating what matters in their family and stuff like that. That's not to say your dreams, your passions, and those things don't matter. Those are not equally as important, but they are pretty up there, because without our passions, without our hobbies, without the things that we love doing, that can really strip us of who we are as a person, and that can even bleed into the interactions you have with your family. If you're not doing your passions, then, you're not going to be truly happy. But, that's why I try to appreciate my family as much as possible, because I know how precious these connections truly are. My mom taught me kindness, she taught me resilience, and the importance of caring for people even when life gets hard. And my brother, he taught me loyalty, and he taught me about friendship, and he just taught me how to be a good person, and he really showed me that he's a good person, and I'm really grateful to have him in my life. But yeah, my partner taught me what it feels like to be deeply loved and to have someone that's by your side through everything, and emotionally supported me through life's challenges, and I'm so grateful for that. And my kid taught me that love can completely transform your perspective on life and give you purpose bigger than yourself. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for this one. I really do appreciate the support. Check out that songs playlist. And I hope you're having an amazing start to your weekend. It's Saturday currently, and it's a beautiful day outside. And I got my brother's going to be visiting me today, and it's going to be really good. So, yeah. I will see you in the next one.